Hello and welcome. We are going to tap into the energy of the Aries New Moon that is coming up on March 31st or April 1st, depending on where you are. This new moon is a powerful one. It's an opportunity for us to get grounded in our body, right? Aries being the first sign of the zodiac. We have this ongoing building of the conjunction between Jupiter and Neptune, which can make us feel, it's in the sign of Pisces, right? Very mystical opportunities, but also a feeling of making sure we're anchored in our bodies, because that Jupiter Neptune can make us feel very lofty. So what good are we if we're not present in the body, right? So taking in nice deep breaths, continuing to do this all throughout the month of April. I do believe that exact conjunction is around April 12th. So this Aries new moon taking place at 11 degrees, 30 minutes. The warrior archetype is in a conjunction with Chiron, the wounded healer. I feel like this wounded masculine energy rising to the surface for those that are going about their business, not holding their energy accountable. We also have the planet, Mr. Mercury, the planet of communication, not too far, just a couple of degrees away from this new moon. So overall, I'm feeling like this prime opportunity for us to take our healing of self, right? The Chiron energy, Aries, self, first sign of the zodiac, a whole nother level of our healing, a new beginning of our energy, being held accountable for our own healing, not getting lost in that collective soup of the narratives. The Jupiter Pisces energy in the Jupiter Neptune energy in Pisces can also be delusional. It can have us feeling ungrounded. I know for me, I have Neptune on my ascendant, so grounding, I'm always a huge advocate for this anyway, but grounding more important than ever. We do currently have some more coronal mass ejections coming in to the Earth's atmosphere from the sun. So making sure we're really taking good care of ourselves, breathing deep into your heart space, hydrating. It's time to break free from the collective. It's time to break free from disconnecting from the narratives, the media, not getting lost in the soup. Again, I said this on another one of my videos, not sure which one it was, of not allowing ourselves to get emotionally charged by what we're witnessing, right? Because a lot of that information can be very deceptive at this time, you know, being delusional. That Chiron energy in the masculine sign of Aries also can be just a coming forth of a lot of projections from, like I said, those people that are not holding their own energy accountable. They're not doing their shadow work. And so a lot of projected energy out there, intense for sure. The ruling planet of Aries is Mars. So, you know, it can be action, it can be passion, but it also can be aggression. So choose wisely. Again, Mercury with this new moon in Aries is also cautioning ourselves not to speak or communicate out of impulse, right? Of that lower vibration of aggression, or, you know, projecting that onto others. So really caution that. Again, on the flip side of that, there's always a duality, dark and light here on the earth plane. We can take that energy of Mercury with this new moon in Aries, with Chiron, the wounded healer. We can communicate with others, share your stories, share your layers of healing, share your positive transformational stories about how you've gotten on your path to do your own healing, to do your shadow work, so that we can take that forward in this creation of Aries season. Really getting into our bodies. Again, cautioning not to get drifted off into the lower vibration of Jupiter, Neptune, conjunct Pisces, which could be getting lost in the soup of delusion, escapism. Never a good time, especially I've been saying this since 2020, to be checking out from our wounds, right? That Chiron in Aries, self wounds, not to check out through escapism and numbing, because it's not going to go too well. It could go actually too far off into, you know, people exiting the planet. So at the time of this new moon, again, on the 31st of March or April 1st, depending on where you are, again, this is the first new moon. There's going to be 2 new moons in the month of April. This is significant because towards the end of the month, on April 30th, is there 30 days or is there 29 days? Hold on. That does show the 30. Okay, so April 30th, there's also another new moon that is a solar eclipse happening in Taurus. This is significant, going a little too far, but this is all tied together, right? Because this is an important time for us with this new moon in Aries to plant a new seed, to allow ourselves to level up with our healing, to really tap into the higher aspect of Jupiter, Neptune in Pisces, of spiritual strength, tapping into our spiritual connectivity, tapping into our inner divine. We just got the High Priestess card in the energy empowerment for the week as well. Trusting your own inner divine through breath work, through meditation, through stillness. Very important. Again, second new moon in the month of April, which doesn't happen all the time because this is a solar eclipse happening in Taurus, which is the North Node. The North Node in astrology is the direction we want to head. So it's about values, it's about beauty, it's about the body, it's about embodiment as well, right? We have that first spark with Aries, then we have Taurus, we're in the body. So very important to stay grounded and just increasing your self-care more than ever. Thank you so much for being here. We are going to tap in to an overall energy. I chose the Mystical Shaman Oracle deck today, one of my favorite decks that I haven't utilized in a while. God, creator, source, divine white light, we ask for your presence. We ask for your peace. We ask for your upliftment. We ask for your guidance. We go into our own inner divine to be still and listen, to be receptive. We give thanks in advance, and so it is. So let's just tap into the overall energy for this new moon in Aries. Again, another whole new level of opportunity for your healing. And then we will get into the Sabian symbol for this 11-degree, 30 minutes. What is the overall energy for this new moon in Aries? Uno, self. It's time to really start from a heart-centered place, investing in self, empowering self. When we stop giving our power away to others, to authority, to the collective narrative, when we take ourselves, reel ourselves back in, so that radical self-care of, no, I'm putting myself first, I'm investing in myself first, so that my full cup can pour out to the collective, right? It's just basically what it boils down to is stop projecting. And so with it being a masculine sign, like I said, of Aries, we could see an uptick in that masculine out of balance, that Chiron in Aries wounded projections. Again, Mars is always, Mars, Aries energy can be the warring, and that's just a low vibrational person in collective that's projecting, competing, comparison. The spiral. the spiral. Before I read this, because I will read it in its entirety, there's a green heart in the center of this spiral. It is important for us, like I just shared, to invest in ourselves, to stay in that sacredness, to know that we are on the spiral of life, to realize, to remind ourselves, because we're going through so many things on the collective, to invest in yourself, to know that you are a divine spiritual being, that you are present in your body. If you're not, call yourself back into your body, invest in yourself. Because we have so many different personalities on the planet, all divine spirit, but many of those people haven't realized that yet. So we're in this. Okay, I'm being guided to say that there's many people that are projecting. And instead of, because of the opportunity we have right now as a collective for a great awakening, it's important for us that we don't invest our energy in the global reset narrative. It's important for us to push the button and say, no, this is actually the great awakening. We're not going with your narrative of the wounded masculine of a global reset, where there's still a hierarchy happening, right? We still have Pluto, which is huge, because the Pluto return in Capricorn in the United States is very important, because this flows out to the rest of the world. So choose to invest in yourself. Choose a different timeline by investing in yourself, and choose for this to be the great awakening, knowing that we're spiritually supported and we're not going with the timeline of the bullies on the playgrounds. Global reset, meaning you'll own nothing and be happy. Choose to not, don't ignore it. Maybe an opportunity with the new moon in Aries to say, I'm investing in myself. This is a whole nother level of healing, and I'm taking it farther. I'm going to hold my energy accountable, right? Uno, Aries, great initiator, cardinal energy, cardinal fire. So passion. What am I passionate about? People waking up and holding their energy accountable, so that we can write a new script, not the global reset that's intended by the bullies on the playground, but a great awakening, right? In the doorway of the Aquarius energy of all people matter. All life matters. And therefore, how I shift my perspective is investing in myself. So the passion of creativity, sacral chakra coming up. Pardon me. So when we read the Sabian symbols, this Sabian symbol is happening at 11 degrees, 30 minutes. Yes. So we're going to read the 12-degree Sabian symbol for Aries. A flock of wild geese. The theme here for this Aries new moon is high flight. This symbol speaks to the desire of an individual to lift himself above the superficial limitations of everyday life. The image of a flock of wild geese suggests a yearning for light-hearted freedom, such as might be experienced by the geese in flight, but eventually, like migrating geese, every individual who achieves such state must eventually come back down to earth and take up where he left off. So this is speaking about, especially going into the age of Aquarius, where it's the collective energy. Invest in self first, because then you are more beneficial to yourself, and you're always going to be more beneficial for the collective, for the flock, right? Wow. Although this symbol can indicate a naive attempt to mentally or physically escape unpleasant or difficult situations, there is a safety in numbers. quality in this image. Remember what I said. It's important not to, with that Neptune, Jupiter conjunction in Pisces, to not medicate, to over medicate, do not become escaped from the things that we're all collectively witnessing, because it's intense. I don't care who you are, it's intense. So it's important to invest in the self. Wow. Okay. There's a safety in numbers. To me, that is when you invest in yourself, the whole starts getting better. More and more people awakening, right? Choosing that awakening instead of the narrative. I said this in a video recently about not getting emotionally charged because there's a lot of deception. The implication here is that the individual prefers the security of the group and would be reluctant to strike out on his own on any journey to freedom. At this highest, the symbol represents naive detachment, optimism, and idealism. On the negative, superficial thinking or overdependence on the opinions of others. This is not the time, again, I'm going to stress this again, to not get caught up in the narrative, who those bullies that want to do a global reset that isn't benefiting you, I, or your sisters or your brothers. It's a time for a great awakening to invest in yourself, to not escape from the so very pressing, right? 2020, mask, separate, isolate. I hope that you took the opportunity to strengthen your spiritual muscles, to strengthen your individual personality, meaning authenticity, to not get caught up in the herd. You'll get trampled. So today the ascent is on travel, social events, and freedom. You may be dreaming about a faraway place or feeling a need to get away from it all and do something light and fun. Where you are doesn't seem to be where you want to be. Don't escape. Responsibility weighs heavily on your shoulders, and you're simply not in the mood for deep thinking or serious decision making. So that would be a great opportunity to sit in stillness and be still, meditate. Your greatest advantage lies in keeping a positive attitude and helping others to do the same. So reach out to people. This is a difficult time for everybody. Reach out to people, let them know you're doing good. I know it's intense, but you're supported. I support you. God Creator supports you. Reach out to people. We've all been in this little isolation thing, and that's too much for some people. I never isolated because I was told to. I'm just saying, I took that opportunity to reflect, to go into my inner Chiron wounds, to do the healing. How can I help and be of service to others? But myself has to be first. So the risk is guard against the impulse to abandon your responsibilities and ignore things you would rather not have to face. Never run from that shadow, because if you do, it'll hit you tenfold, right? Going along with the crowd to avoid confrontation or letting others do your thinking for you can create bigger problems. Again, very highlighted here. You have to trust your own inner divine. Do not get lost in the soup of the lower aspect of deception. Again, South Node in Scorpio, letting go of betrayal, abandonment, shame. Look at what happened with this thing. Shame on you. You're not protecting your loved ones. It was never intended for that purpose. It was about silencing you, hence the censorship. And let me tell you something, if you're one of those that thinks the censorship's not a problem, you'll eventually start getting censorship yourself. So I would not choose the duality of you're wrong, I'm right, my truth, your truth. Man, dude, you have to really tap in and invest in yourself. So this is the risk with this new moon. If you've been following the herd and the narrative, it's time to reflect on that Go into your inner divine. Trust your intuition. Do not go with the crowd just for the sake of not feeling included. Trust me, not a good idea. Yeshua wasn't accepted by a lot of people. That's why he was crucified. Look at what's happening symbolically. People are being crucified for speaking truth, censored, deleted. Go with the all high mighty God. Don't go with the people on the planet that are bullies trying to play God. Ain't gonna go well. The stepping stone for this Aries new moon is lightheartedness, lack of concern, escape detachment, naivety, optimism, idealism, aspiration, and freedom. Choose freedom. Choose to release the chains that have bound you. Whether it be, you know, we came out of the Gemini Sagittarius nodal shift into Taurus Scorpio, where we needed to over the past 2 years when this whole planetary collective thing that's impacted everybody, to release belief systems. Did you have a belief system that the government was for you? Did you have a belief system that you had to pray through somebody else for God to hear you? Did you release your belief system that thinking the medical establishment has your health and wealth and well-being at the forefront? I hope you let that go, because it's important more than ever to free yourself from that. This collective narrative could have ended months, year ago, had not so many people been put into the fear by the 24/7 programming, mainstream, social media, even your weather app. Couldn't pull your weather app on your devices without seeing death, and it went from that to choose a side now. Look what's happening in the Ukraine-Russia thing. Choose, get emotionally invested. Let me just remind you, if you don't already know, there's major deception. It's important, I've said this, to not get emotionally charged or emotionally invested on the left or the right, the black, the white, the wrong, the right, my truth, your truth, because that's what they want. They want to pull everybody off their center, to not invest into themselves, to not take the opportunity that's prime right now for us to just have this mystical, powerful spiral with the Neptune Jupiter, expanding our consciousness. So let's read what this says. I haven't drawn from my mystical shaman in a long time. One of my favorite decks. Used to use it a whole lot more. I'm going to use it again today with this. I was drawing. You're experiencing dryness, sinus issues, feeling ungrounded. That's radical self-care in Aries, right? We have those CMEs coming in today through the new moon. And, you know, as above, so below, we're definitely energetic beings, and we are definitely influenced whether you're awake or not. From galaxies in the sky to the shells on the beach, the spiral is found extensively in the natural world. Its shape, in the form of a coiled serpent, has been used since ancient times as a tool for growth and transformation. The spiral is a guide for entering deep into one's consciousness and the unknown, and then extending far out into the heavens. It is crucial to surrender to this journey until the exhausted paradigm dissolves in the depths of the psyche and its energy is released to give birth to a new reality. Important time with the new moon to plant a seed on the evolution of your soul, investing in yourself, right? If wish you could see it better, but at the center of that is green, heart chakra. And again, tapping into the higher vibration of this Jupiter-Neptune conjunction in the sign of Pisces is you have an opportunity to sit in meditation, to do your breath work, to expand your consciousness, and then blast this planet with the frequency of love. The invitation with the spiral is to renew yourself. You must shed your old skin. Again, what did I say at the beginning of this? The Chiron conjunction with the new moon and Mercury, a new level of healing. A new level of healing for you. You're worthy. You're powerful. You're magnificent. You are the spark of the God creator most high. It was never intended for us to be dominated. We're here to have an experience. And then all these personalities, all these masculine wounds projected, causing competition, war, lack. So let me go back here. I digress. To renew yourself, you must shed your old skin. You have already done this. So do not keep scraping away at the old, but welcome the soft new skin that is starting to grow. Break the habit of working on your faults all the time and let nature take its course. So it's a really big opportunity as well. I'm glad that triggered my thought of this, because sweet surrender is super powerful. Know that a new skin feels vulnerable and scary at times. Trust the medicine of the spiral as it guides you for your journey of renewal. Okay? So taking a break from the wounds, taking a break from the life lessons, taking a break from doing, feeling like you're always broken, to rejuvenate, to allow the beautiful vulnerability of your new skin to be appreciated, to shine, to sparkle. And I'd say radical self-care as well. Let's see what else we got. A couple more messages for this new moon in Aries. New moon in Aries. Well, that one just does not want to. Justice, soul contract. We just got this in a reading recently, maybe 2 weeks ago. Lady Justice. We have a, you know what? We have a full moon in April as well. In between these new moons, we have a full moon in Libra on April 16th. Balance. Masculine, feminine balance. I'm also feeling like, obviously, this rules courts, court hearings, equality. We could have a lot of things come into light throughout this month. I know I'm expanding a little bit here, but this correlates with the full moon in the middle of April. A lot of intensity building. We have a Saturn that is squaring the North Node at the time of this new moon. Saturn's limitations, Saturn's body, it's restrictions, right? On the higher aspect of that is wisdom carried forward. Squaring the North Node, South Nodes, the nodes of the moons is huge because that's a collective energy. So we could see coming out a lot of dark hidden things in that South Node Scorpio, especially with the United States with its Pluto return. Look at what's happening on the collective stage right now as I'm coming to you on March 29th of 2022. How I was saying they're wanting that you to be invested emotionally with the, you know, first it was the CV thing. Now it's the do it, just keeping everybody fighting. And now they're asking you to choose a side of a war that's taking place, maybe that we don't know all the information of that yet. And because Mercury is with this new moon also with Chiron in Aries, look for information to come out. This could be a collective soul contract that is ending, and before it ends, it has to come to the light. Let's do an I am affirmation, and then we are going to close this up. I don't know what I am on time, but I'm hoping that this catches your attention, because I am always here to share so that we can, you know, work with the energies, and also kind of bring a little mental note to yourself on all the things I shared about not getting caught up in the collective soup, because there's a lot of deception. I learned from my mistakes. Perfect, Chiron. In Aries with this new moon, I learn from my mistakes. This is what I always say. There's two things in life. There's lessons and blessings. Go where you're celebrated, not where you're tolerated. Don't allow your wounds to define you. Rise, keep rising, keep spiraling. Invest in yourself. And give yourself a lot of damn credit for being on this earth plane at this time, in this now. Invest in yourselves. Again, another opportunity for a whole new level of healing with Chiron there with this new moon. Invest in yourself. Bring forward your courageous, badass Aries cardinal energy that you are. Don't be concerned about not fitting in. It's a fucking blessing that you don't. Invest in yourself. Much love to you. Plant this new seed. Do a fire ceremony. Great time with planting a seed. Again, have a fire. This is a cardinal energy. I send this to you guys with so much love. And until the next time, shalom, shalom.